Welcome back to the Balanced Ballerinas YouTube channel. My name is Georgia Dostal. I'm a qualified ballet teacher and founder of Balanced Ballerinas here on the Gold Coast in Australia. Now, today I wanted to talk about why some students who are injured and trying to return to the bar get in their own way, okay, and how to overcome this. So I'm sure she won't mind sharing, I have this beautiful online student who's just gone through her third hip replacement. Now, she is a ballet teacher, she's a student of ballet, she loves ballet more than anything in the world. But as we were talking, I started looking at her coursework and I can see how far people have progressed. And I said, you haven't got very far through. What's going on? And she said, I just can't get past lesson 1. I feel like my hip is just like not where it used to be. I just feel challenged by it. I feel like I want to do it properly. I don't want to lack in technique before I continue on with the rest of the lessons. Now, I instantly sensed in this student fear, okay? And I said to her, what are you afraid of? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And she said, well, I guess the worst thing is I end up with a 4th hip replacement. And I said, and guess what? If that's the worst thing that happens and you get to continue dancing and continue pursuing your love of ballet, you've already had 3. What's a 4th? Yes. Now, that is obviously not going to happen. I truly believe this student has had a very successful 3rd hip replacement. She's feeling really good. Like, she looks really good. The problem is that it's all up here. We're scared to move. Yep, we're scared to take those next steps and accept our new body. Yep. So it's really, really important that if you're injured and you're returning to the bar, don't expect it to look perfect. Yeah. It is part and parcel with being a ballet student that we often think that we need to be perfect. We strive for this perfectionism, and that just falls into every part of our life, including if you're recovering from injury. So if you're returning to the bar, yes, you're going to be afraid. That is so normal, yes, but run through the worst case scenarios in your head and weigh up the pros and cons. It's really important that you follow your medical advice. However, it's also really important to continue living your life. A really good example of this is the same student I was just talking to you about said that she is really worked out, getting back into walking, okay? So walking for her on her new hip is fine. She's walking. She's getting that movement back. She's gone baby steps. She said, the first time I walked, I got to the front door. Then I got halfway down the path. Then I got to the letterbox. And I said to her, why aren't you thinking of your ballet practice like this? Yeah? Why aren't you thinking of your ballet practice like this? The first week you might get through pliés and tendus. The second week you might make it to jetés. The third week you might make it to rondejons, etc., etc., etc. By the time 12 weeks is up, you're probably going to be in the center practicing ballet. Yeah? Baby steps. We get in our own way because of this fear of what might happen. But imagine if we flipped this and you let fear get in the way of walking, so you're just never going to walk again. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's possible to walk again, but the fear of it stops you. So important to just take those first few steps. And our ballet practice is exactly the same. It's really interesting because I was chatting to this particular student and she said, look, I've just had 8 weeks of therapy and you've just summed it up in literally 10 minutes. And I said, that's because I understand you. I understand ballet students. I understand ballet teachers. We love ballet so much. It brings us so much joy that it means so much to us. So when we're injured and we go, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get back to the bar or feel comfortable again? That really scares us, and that has a lot of fear in it. Yeah. So it's really, really important to just take a step back, take a big breath, stop thinking about technique. Yeah. Stop thinking about technique. I want you to think about, for sure, definitely building those foundations back up, going back to your beginner level classes, yeah, taking it nice and slow, but also just getting back in the studio or getting back to the bar or getting back to your students, yeah. You have to take those first steps, because otherwise the light at the end of the tunnel is just non-existent. You have to start walking towards it. And before you know it, you will be back taking class. Not perfectly, because guess what? None of us are perfect, and technique will never be perfect, but you will be getting stronger and stronger and stronger with every step and every day and every class and every time you take a plie. Does that make sense? I have had one injury in my life, and it was actually not from dancing, it was from falling down the stairs. I tore my MCL, yes, so the ligament just here, completely clean. My leg was like jelly. And what's been interesting, this was many years ago, after rehabilitating it, continuing to teach, doing all my exercises to make it stronger again, it's actually stronger than my other leg, than my other knee, which is really interesting, yes? So don't necessarily think of your injury as the end, yes? Or don't think of an injury as, well, that side's always going to be shocking, yeah? It's always going to be a huge challenge for me. It could actually end up being the stronger side. That's the silver lining. I have so many students who have had hip replacements, and they continue to take my classes at all levels, beginner, intermediate and advanced. And I think they're amazing. And I sometimes ask them, does your hip give you any grief? Or whatever injury they've had and they've overcome, does it still give you any grief? And you know what the answer is? It's usually, yeah, sometimes, but most of the time it's okay, yeah? I think sometimes we want our bodies to be perfectly balanced, and that's not what Balanced Ballerinas is all about. Balanced Ballerinas is actually about creating this beautiful movement practice, which we all love, ballet, and having it as a beautiful moment to check in with yourself and your body and go, that feels a bit off today, or that feels really good today, or say with a hip, it feels a bit ugh today, and then other days like, that feels really good. What a beautiful practice and a beautiful gift that we have from ballet, to be able to do that, to check in with ourselves and check in with our bodies and know our bodies really well. So I hope this chat has been useful for anybody who is struggling to get through injury, or struggling to get back to the bar, or simply just getting in their own way through fear. Don't let your passionate love of ballet make you so scared to not return, yeah? Give it a crack, you'll be fine. And let me know in the comments below your stories, if this helps, if this resonates. Let me know your story in the comments below.